Hello, Taurus. Like I promised, we're going to do your July 2018 reading. I have your cards all laid out for you. With your affirmations deck, the overall guidance for the month of July, you guys have positive thinking and peacefulness. So, Taurus, if your thoughts become your reality, has your environment around you, your work life, your home life, your love life, whichever, has it started to resemble your mindset? Do you not like how your environment is right now? Might be a good indication of what is in your head. What's the overall appearance? Sometimes our reality can be confusing and our thoughts can be deceiving. Kind of like the weed, it's really viney, it's called Creepin' Jenny, and it is very abundant. Once it gets going, it just goes all over, spreads everywhere. And even for a very thin vine, this weed is able to break through the barriers of essentially anything. It gets into the foundation of houses. It can come right through the frame of your house. And if you have it around your flower beds, it can literally overtake an entire flower bed within days. And then what happens to your flowers? They die. Why do they die? Because they were surrounded by abundance and vines, or they were surrounded by something that looked like it was pretty but was really greedy and self-centered, that it took up all of the space to grow and all of the water to stay hydrated, and it pretty much strangled the life right out of the flowers. So with positive thought, positive thinking, be careful not to allow your thoughts to strangle your abundant and prosperous and happy future, or even your current environment, because sometimes it gets out of hand before we realize how far it has gotten. Peacefulness. What actions do you take, Taurus? Just you, on a regular basis for self-love? What do you do for self-care? Do you go to the gym? Do you get a manicure, pedicure, get your hair done? Do you go shooting? Do you ride your bike, walk your dog? Or nobody's got time for that? Ain't nobody got time for that. What does your car look like? Do you have garbage, like all the way up to level with the seat? Can you fit any passengers in your car? Now let's pretend that your heart is your car. Could you possibly fit any love into your heart for yourself or others if it's so cluttered with the past guilt or hurt or shame? Be kind to your heart. Be gentle with it. Allow yourself to heal so your heart can love again. You guys are like the greatest at neglecting yourself or denying yourself. It's like you're the parent and you're always grounding yourself. And not grounding like going out in nature and getting grounded, which is healthy, but like you came home past curfew, you're grounded. Like that. It's not healthy. And so your spirit guides, clearly they know what's up ahead for you. So they're going to give you some advice as to how to get there. And they offered flowing river and spirit of air. Flowing river. First, let's just take a moment to appreciate how fucking gorgeous that card is. I mean, like, if I could have a crush on a deck of cards, it'd be this deck. I just love it. But just as there's divine timing, there's also divine flow. If you think about when you take your kids to swimming lessons, where do all the beginners hang out? In the shallow end where they can reach, where they can touch their feet down, and along the edges of the pool, right? So if you make that into a river, you need to let go of the shore. And when you allow yourself to get into the water, don't allow yourself to swim against the current. You can't swim against it. You're not going to win. Look at the size of the ocean, and then look at you. And remember, you're tired. You're exhausted. That sun is so hot. That creepin' Jenny has made you dehydrated. You can't fight that. That's one time when it's gonna be okay to be a loser. Things are trying to fall into place. Just have to stop resisting. Rivers have energy or a vibe, just like humans or animals. And their energy is absolutely 110% something to be aware of, to respect. You don't heed caution when everything about the river says, don't come near me right now, and you dive headfirst in. Your outcome or your overall ending to the story is going to be your demise. Chances are you aren't going to be found for maybe 8-10 miles downstream, and you're not going to have any life left in you. So in order to prevent that, we're going to throw on a life jacket, and we're going to say, I trust that I am pointed in the right direction, that the river knows which way to flow, and I'm just going to go with it. And I'm just going to enjoy the ride, the float. Sure, there's going to be some, turbulent waters in some areas, and there's going to be, a couple branches that poke you in the ass, but you're still working way less to get to the same destination, and you have time to enjoy the scenery around you. Notice that there's even scenery around you. The spirit of air. Clarity and a more detailed perspective are done packing their bags. They've got on the bus and they're headed your direction. Air is your mental perception or your aspect in every regard to life. Every aspect of life. So when there are too many pollutants in the air, what do you get? Look at the big cities. All of these pollutants in the air, what do you get? In the air, what do you get? You get smog, right? And they say, oh, it's so terrible to breathe in, and you can't see, you can't see very far past, your present location, your current state. So when there's too much emotion or too much moisture, rain, tears, whichever, what do you get? You get fog. See where I'm headed with this? Being mindful of what fills our headspace or what factors have helped form our perception makes clearing the clutter, clearing the air so much easier. If you're flying in a plane, do they fly through the thunderstorm and just right exactly at the same altitude and say, oh, it's just going to be a bumpy ride the whole way, we're never going to get out of it? Or do they fly above the thunderstorm and magically, even though below you can see all of the dark rain clouds, you have sun above that storm, right? So if you climb high enough, if you get a high enough perspective, a clear enough view, you'll find the sun again. For the work, career, and finance, You guys have 4 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. They both kind of look like troubled cards, not gonna lie. I mean, it's not like they're in the circus and the one is about ready to balance her swords on her toe while she is, doing a handstand, and the other one is, doing some crazy cool fire show. No. Not quite. The 4 of Swords reminds us that most often our whispers of enlightenment, I guess we'll say, can't be heard until we're willing to be alone in silence, solitude, to retreat. This card shows how important it is. Because even though if she was to sit closer to the ocean, yes, sure, the crashing waves would, take up some of the mind space. She wouldn't be able to hear as clearly. But she didn't walk all the way away from the ocean. She just stepped back. She retreated a little, so that way she could hear clearly. So it's a clear indicator that you need to take some time off from work, or at least give some work relationship or some dedication or something that is taking up your time in regards to your work. You need to take a break. It's not to say that you're going to quit. It's not going to say you're going to go run and hide. It's not going to say anything negative like that. It's just, if you keep going and going and going, you don't ever let your horse stop for water, your horse is going to flop over, and then you're going to be hoofing it on your own. Sometimes you have to give people, places, things, space. You have to give your ideas space. You have to give your dreams and motivations space. Otherwise, you're going to be the creeping Jenny and strangle them or suffocate them. The 5 of Wands. I mean, anybody who has listened to a tarot reading knows what 5 of Wands is. Like, if we're going to go the general direction, or the general description, fine, whatever. But for me, I see the colors. And I see red, yellow, and green. I see your confidence, your self-worth affecting your heart, hurting your feelings, making you feel threatened, and that is because of somebody at your work. Who are you butting heads with? Whose presence is enough to just their presence alone, their voice, their name, is just enough to annoy the holy living shit out of you? Who? What is it about them? What do you find so threatening about them? Yep, Taurus, I said that. You do. You feel threatened by them. Why? You're like, oh no, I'm just annoyed because all they do is kiss ass. You feel threatened because maybe that tactic is working, and you know damn well that there ain't never going to come a day where you're going to be able to do that. You can't put yourself into that position. You can't bullshit a bullshitter, and you're like, I'm not an ass kisser. So you feel threatened by that. You have somebody who's always asking questions. What happens when you ask questions? You get answers. And when you get answers, you learn. And you build up your desire and your passion and your interest or your intrigue. Then what happens? You learn more. You afraid that that person's going to learn more than you know? Is that why you're annoyed every time they ask you a question? Or is it because you aren't able to ask questions without practically having your arm twisted off? Which is it? The only time someone can have that much control over you is A, when you allow it, and B, when you feel threatened. So let me give you a... We're going to do a little trick here, a little mind game. This is going to be used as a tool. So take a pen and set it in your hand, and you're going to have your hand held out kind of like a platter or a plate or a tray. So lay your hand out, set that pen on top of it. So now most of you probably still have another hand free that you can use, right? Does that pen hurt sitting there? Is it weighing a lot? No. Is it burning your hand? No. So what's wrong with just leaving that pen sit there? You don't have to like the pen. You don't have to see a need for the pen. You don't have to ever have a single use for the pen. But is it really, really, really bothering you by sitting it there? What if you just set it on the table right beside you? It's not really in your way. It's not really bugging you. It's not ruining your table or your desk. So why does that person ruin your day? Because you allow it. Set the pen down on your desk and forget about it. Sure, it can be there, but you don't have to dwell on it. Love and romantic relationships. You have 3 cards. Cheer up, go with the flow, and epiphany. Whoop whoop. I like it. So with the cheer up card, for those of you who have kids or nieces or nephews, or you've seen a kid, how often do you hear like your 3 or 4 or 5-year-old express their concern, their anxiety about an obligation that they have coming up in the following week or 2? How often do you hear about them say something negative about themselves because they failed at some task like a month ago? You don't, right? Why? Because just like the kids fighting at daycare that are like being totally against each other one moment and they're just absolute enemies, and the next minute they're BFFs again, they're able to forgive themselves just as quick as they forgive others. And they just let it go. They don't even remember it. You'd ask them about it and they're like, what? Live in the moment. Go with the flow. So live for today. Live in the moment. Let all of your burdens, your obligations, whatever they are, be like any of your kids' possessions that they can never fucking find, and they always have to ask you to find them. They might be right in front of their face, but they don't see them because they don't dwell on them. Then, as if we have not driven home the point of going with the flow, we have go with the flow. So let go, step aside. This is a hard one for you, Taurus. Let others help you. The universe knows what you need. They know what you desire. They want to deliver the best possible outcome. But if you aren't present, if you aren't in the moment, you won't even be open. You won't be home to open the security gate when FedEx shows up. And then all you get is that annoying motherfucking sticker on your door that says, hey, we're here, but you weren't. Sorry about your luck. We'll deliver it when we feel like it. Maybe you should be home next time. You all know how that feels. Like, son of a bitch, I was gone for 2 minutes and you were here. You couldn't wait around for a little bit? No. They got other shit to do. They're gonna be gone. You get a sticker, see you later. Don't let your life, your joy, your abundance, everything that is meant for you end up being that annoying ass sticker on your door. Don't miss it. Lastly, in the love and relationships, you have epiphany. So it's like almost as if somebody's like, fine, you won't get up and turn the lights on? I will. They activate your autofocus. Things aren't as blurry anymore. They slapped on a pair of glasses. You regain this sense of control and understanding when you allow yourself to see from a different perspective. When you can step back and regain your composure, your focus. This is exactly what leads to your fulfillment, your enlightenment, your abundance, your happiness, your life. It's happening, Taurus. You don't always have to be a goddamn bull or whatever, just stubborn. Stop. Your spirit animal is the zebra. The zebra is all about being one with their herd. Your guides and all of your higher beings, your spirit family, they urge you, they want so bad for you to connect with your higher consciousness so that your heart and your head, your body and your soul can all move as one unit, just like the herd of zebras. Fun fact about zebras and when they're with their herd. Do you ever hear zebras making a lot of noise? You know, like you hear like the geese, you know, they're all honking and whatever, and you hear frogs making noises and cows and whatever else. could go on for days like a petting zoo, right? But zebras, silent. Why? Because they use telepathic communication. They are so in tune with their herd. For those of you that don't know, I'm a medic on an ambulance. So, when you have a good partner and you are totally in tune with each other, no matter what call you run, no matter what call you're dispatched to, you can run that call in complete silence, never have to say a word to your partner, and you two know exactly what to expect from the other person at the exact time. You know how the order is going to go. You know the whole vibe of the call, and you have faith that it's all going to be exactly as it should. That is so amazing when you get that partner at work. And then you get this other partner who is like, has to talk about it 7 ways from Sunday. You have to plan and then replan. And then when you get there, they freak the fuck out, have everybody in a tizzy, and it's complete chaos. You forgot to do 3/4 of the tasks that you were supposed to do. And when you're pulling into the hospital, you're like, son of a bitch, I didn't even give report. That's called a shit show. That's not a zebra in their herd. Be the zebra in your herd. Let all parts of you connect and flow effortlessly, simultaneously towards the joy and happiness that is meant for your life. God damn, Taurus, you guys have an amazing outlook. For real. Like, the universe has completely given you step by step. Here's what you need to do. A, pull your head out of your ass. B, quit being so stubborn and pig-headed. Bullheaded, whichever animal you want to use. C, enjoy the abundance and fruition of everything you've worked your ass off for. Because you are loved, you are smart, and you deserve every single fabulous thing that is coming to you. I know this has been a long reading. Don't fucking listen to the whole thing if you don't want to, but I had something to say, obviously. Spirit had something to say, and we got it done. So real quickly, you have a lot of things going on with astrology for the rest of the month. I just want you to be aware of it really quick. Mars retrograde. It's retrograde until August, which means you get to slow down and not move forward in certain areas. You guys are going to be going inward. You're going to focus on your work, your career, your finances. You have Venus going squaring Jupiter, which is going to really make you open your heart up and be loving. But then you also have this full moon on the 28th. So there's going to be some push. There's going to be some pull. You're going to be like, which direction am I going? Which direction is up? There's a woman that you guys have in your life who just seems to get you. She knows that, like, how to communicate with you, how to deliver a message, and you listen to her. No matter how many times it's been explained by somebody else, you don't get it, you don't listen, you have put your wall up. This lady, she gets through to you. Go see her. She's going to deliver some good information that you really need to hear without that barrier, without that defense approach, okay? Also, then we have Mercury joining Venus. That's going to be in your house of home, family. Oh my God, this is so much needed for you guys, because you guys can be distant sometimes. And now is such a good time in July to connect and bond and really just enjoy the love and the family that you have around you. It's all around you. And sometimes it's really easy to kind of push that aside because you think it's always going to be there. But maybe it won't. So take this time and really just love your family. Go take a vacation, take a day, whatever it is, but be present in your home, in your family life, and be open to receiving and giving love that is so needed. Taurus, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble, and I will see you again in August. Bye.